I don't. We're sponsored by nobody here, so
That's
go ahead and
bullshit.
eat whatever.
Maybe your first sponsor,
RC
Royal
Cola,
Crown.
yeah, Royal Crown. It's royalty. Who who wouldn't want to listen
Who
to
wouldn't
us
want
more,
that?
knowing that we're sponsored by royalty?
Absolutely.
Crown Cola. Welcome back to Nerd Shit in the Dark, everybody. I'm your host, Chase the Chaz. God, I've been fucking that up lately. Chase the Chaz Screepack. And joining me on the hot bidet, or the warm bidet, oh my god. Joining me on the warm bidet tonight, we have Jake the Dunlap Dunstan.
I
How we
love this
doing, Jake?
place. I love it. Happy to
You
be
know,
here.
I realized something as I was saying your made up name and your real name.
Mhm.
Somebody signed up for a library card a couple weeks ago, and their last name was Dunlap, and I was like, ha ha
Nice.
ha ha.
I also have a library card there. Let us not forget.
That's right, I forgot. Do you utilize that? Do you use the Libby
I
app?
have used it for the Libby app. Yes.
Reading is nerdy, and Jake, you're my show's like book guy, book
Yeah.
guy. Honestly, I mean, not
What a
that every
great honor.
yeah,
For being
totally.
honest, that's a great pride in my life. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm assuming you came in tonight ready to unleash a couple new books on me.
I've got lots of books. We can talk good books, we can talk bad books, and we can talk medium books.
That's the fun thing about the show is there's the shit talk segment, which is just for talking shit.
I have a bad, disappointing one, so I'll be ready.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Cool. Well then, why don't we just hop right into it? No time like the present. Unless just more you want to tell the shitters.
No, I want to hear your new nerd shit first, though.
You want to hear my new nerd shit first?
Yeah.
Oh
Loosen it
wow.
up, baby.
Wow.
You weren't ready
Usually
for this. I put you on the back
no,
foot.
usually when I have a guest on, we let the guest go first, but we can spice it up. I'll be a guest on my own. Actually, you know what, Jake?
I'll go
Tonight.
first. I'm
No,
ready.
no, no,
I'm
no,
ready,
no.
baby.
Tonight I'm gonna give you the reins. You're the
I don't know about
host.
that.
You're the host. I'm on the warm bidet, and
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna flip flop. We're gonna flip flop. It'll be fun. I'll go first, and then you just treat me like you're the host. This is just a quick one. I wasn't even gonna do this one, but I figured if I'm gonna go
Yeah, do a
first,
quick one.
I'd like to do a quick one.
I
So
had some
this
quick
is
ones too.
I should have looked into this a little more before I really talked about it tonight. I'm a little behind on it, but I think I know enough about it to give it like a brief talk about. But there is this manga that I started reading. I've been sitting on it now for probably almost a year. I think it was last summer that I started it. And the first volume came out, the printed edition. It's called Kagurabachi.
Kagurabachi.
Kagurabachi. It's relatively new. I think there's less than, I want to say 100 chapters out right now. They're on like their kind of third arc currently, and I'm actually like 6 or 7 chapters. For all I know, they're onto the fourth arc. But it's an interesting little shonen manga that I've liked. It's in this world of like magic and sorcerers exist, but the world itself is very real life like it's Japan, you know what I mean? It's like the Yakuza and shit, but they're called something else, but it's like, that kind of world, like almost modern day-ish,
Yeah.
but people can use magic and shit. And the premise the main character, he is the son of this guy who made these enchanted swords that they used to win this big fucking war that took place before the series. And the enchanted swords are like they're like the nukes. They're like if guns and shit are the magic system, these swords are like the nukes. They have like special abilities, every single one of them. And like you're learning different. It's like they're all Kekkei Genkai, each sword, and there's just layers to their abilities as the series goes on. That the main character's dad was the blacksmith that made these swords. The beginning of this series, this main character, he's like a kid, and his dad gets killed by these people that steal the swords, except for the one that they didn't know existed because it was handed down to this kid. And the series is basically about this kid wanting to avenge his dad, get back at the killers,
Yeah,
get
of
all the
course.
swords back. And in the midst, you meet like the actual government system, like the people that are in charge of like the swords through like legal means, and
Oh, that's cool.
it's a whole
There's a whole system
hodgepodge.
behind it.
There's a whole system behind it, and I found the first arc to be very entertaining. It sucked me in. But it's kind of like your basic. If I keep comparing it to Naruto, it's like it was like the Zabuza arc, which isn't a bad thing. It's a really good thing. But I think it would do better animated. Like,
Yeah.
I like it as a comic. It's really well drawn and shit. But I think, like most manga, once the anime comes out, people like really shit their pants about it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I think would be really fun, I don't know who's animating the series, but
Is it being animated, like,
there
officially?
is talk that they're going to be
Okay.
making an anime. I don't know if they announced the studio, but if the people who made Demon Slayer did this, I think this would be a great follow-up for them, because there's a lot of like sword battling ability aesthetics that I think would look really cool for this series.
I love
And
that.
I've barely even scratched the surface with like
I
what it
love the
gets into
premise.
as it
Sounds
goes
very
on.
cool.
Yeah. I gave you a very basic, like, oh, he's gonna avenge his
That's
dad.
good enough for me. That's
He's
a good
got like
enough basic for
one of
me.
his dad's friends is like his teammate, that fuck shit up with him, and he has a cool ability, and he used to be a part of this like organization in the government that his dad used to work for, and anime shit, there's just layers of different groups. And
Yeah.
something happened recently where like a character that you believed was like a really good guy like turned villain, but in a way that was like, in his mind you see it as like a good thing, you
Yeah. He's
understand,
not. He doesn't
but
think he's the villain, right?
he's still the bad guy.
So, but he
So
doesn't think he's the bad guy.
no,
See, that's I much more appreciate in
and he's not even a
anything.
main bad guy.
Like I don't want to, I don't always, I guess it's not always a bad thing, but I don't always just want a bad guy who's like, I'm the bad guy and I'm here to do bad. Because it's a little unrealistic, you know? Like you want the guy that's a little bit morally gray because he
Some
thinks he's doing the
layers,
right thing,
some
right?
layers. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And I like a series that kind of sprinkles in, like, there are some just people that are bad, I would say, to be bad, but then you find out along the way that they're not. But
cool.
I'd say this series does a good job of sprinkling um villains with an interesting perspective that you can kind of buy into, and just kooky psycho anime motherfuckers. You know what I'm
So,
saying?
so you were talking about how many, I don't, what do you call is that called a volume, each individual like manga book? Is that
Yes,
a
yes.
volume? Okay.
Yep, yep.
How many of those are out in this series?
I don't know for sure. In America, that we've only just got the first one, but I'd say
Okay.
in
So
Japan,
that's what I was trying to
there's
understand.
probably like 5 or 6. Like
Okay.
I
Cool.
have the Shonen Jump app, and I read chapters
Yeah.
weekly as
You
they
don't,
come out. Let
I
me
was
just
just
see
trying to
how many.
understand how many you had. The
I could
only
probably
manga
tell you.
I own, I've told you I have the big box of My Hero Academia. That's all I
Oh,
have.
right on.
Is
Yep,
the 20 set, the 1
I
through
got
20,
some of those
and
over here.
which is cool, but it's also unfortunate because you have like a box set that is not the whole thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's still what, there's 40 of them or 50 of them.
I think there will be, by the end of the series of My Hero, I think it's around 38.
Yeah, so I have to get another one. I have to double up, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they
Sounds
usually
cool though.
do double them up. Yeah, and that's what I mean. I'm covering this slightly. There are 68 chapters as of the other day, so that means there's
Okay.
probably around 6 available volumes total. So it's really early. It's in its kind of infancy still. But
How'd you jump on this one? Did you just
I had
see it
heard
and got
about it. Yeah,
interested?
advertisements. I follow the right
They
people
get
you
you.
hear talk about. There was kind of, it was like memed a little when it first came out in like the anime scope, because I think people were like calling for it to be the next big thing before it was anything, and people were just
That's
like
tough.
making fun of it. But then it like actually was good, so you stopped hearing like the making fun of. So
Quit making fun of
the
it.
fact
Yeah.
that they are into like their third pretty big, possibly fourth decent arc too at 68 chapters. Yeah, the pacing's pretty impressive. I'm excited to see a lot of it animated over the years, but just keep an eye
Fun.
out. Kagurabachi.
Kagurabachi.
Yeah.
Let me write down. I love it.
It's fun. It's kept me entertained on days that I
Need entertaining.
that don't have anything specifically I want to do, and then I'm like, oh, I'm probably behind a couple chapters of this. I could sit and watch all of that.
Yeah, and you're not diving into Wheel of Time that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. I've been just getting back into that recently.
Take your time, brother. I do, I do brag. So the only other person that I know that reads is my college roommate, who I'm still close with, and he and I talk books a lot. He lives in Delaware, so just on the phone, whatever. And I do brag to him all the time about my real friend who is reading my favorite series of all time. So I do brag all the time about it.
I took a little break there to read all those Aragon books, and now I'm back. Now I'm back into the Crown of Swords, and it's hard to jump off of it and jump back. Like it's
because it's so much more dense than what you were reading
dense.
too.
That's a great word.
Dense.
Yeah. Very dense. I was swimming in the fucking shallow for a couple weeks, and then I was like, all right, back to business.
Especially, so you are in book 7 or 6?
7. The beginning of 7.
The worst, I think it's like the worst stretch of the series, right around where you are, which isn't, I know, a great exciting thing, but it's all worth it.
Yeah, what a thing to tell me.
It just is, man. I don't want you to read it and be like, I'm not enjoying this as much, and then I think it's specifically 8 that people have the biggest problem with. But I still liked it. It's just the other
that's
books
all
are
I need. As long as I still like it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's hard to keep that momentum.
I find myself, maybe I'll jump into the books I have. The book I'm currently reading, I don't have that much to say about it. The series is called Empire of the Wolf. The first book is Justice of Kings, and it's like it's hardly like I want my fantasy to have a little bit more magic than this has, but it follows these people that work for this empire, and the lead guy of their group is a justice, and which means he just goes and enforces the emperor's justice, right? Like he investigates crimes.
I love justice.
Justice. Yeah, he carries out investigations, things like that. But the magical part of it is that all the justices have a couple powers. One of them is like the emperor's voice, so they can get people to tell them the truth, and they can command people to do things. And then they all have different ones. And this guy's is necromancy, which is kind of neat. But just he can speak with the dead. That's it.
Okay, he doesn't bring them back and make
No, he just speaks with the dead. And I was trying to tell Tori about it, and there's not that much more to say. It's more of a political, which is fun, but it's more of a political thriller than anything else. But as I'm reading this, and I'm enjoying it just fine, and I'm trying to understand why is it not sucking me in. Dude, there is nobody better ever for me at world building than Robert Jordan. As I'm rereading this, you just pick out these flaws on what these writers have for world building compared to him. And there's just nothing.
You shouldn't. Like you know what I mean? You shouldn't. You can't.
It's hard though. So like what this book does that I'm really struggling with, and he did it in the first book more. The second book's much better. I'm almost finished with it, but it's a lot of information dumping. So you're reading the story and you're into it, and then he tries, instead of like where Robert Jordan, to me, all the world building is layered into the story. Like you don't feel like you're getting world building. You just feel like you're reading the story. Whereas this, and some other books I read, you get the story, and then all of a sudden it's one page of info dump of the world building. And you just don't, it's like when you used to skim a textbook, you kind of, you're like, I want to know what's happening in this goddamn story. I don't, But meanwhile, Robert Jordan describes like walls all the time. But I'm into it. But I love it.
But while he's describing the wall to you, through the wall itself, you might be learning a cultural aspect of a certain race of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He weaves it very well. This podcast has been a fucking Robert Jordan jerk-off session for the past 6 months.
Not enough.
Sorry, shitters that don't give a shit about Wheel of Time, but we're talking about it again.
Sorry. And I was just using it to compare to this book that
no, it's good.
I briefly am going to talk about, just because it's hard to say much about it, because it's just like, it's got like a 4.1 on Goodreads, which is fine, but it's
This isn't the one you're shitting on, though, is it? This isn't the book
you're
shitting on.
No, this is my medium. I have one to really shit on. And I have animes to talk about that I was going to talk about first.
Yeah, you got full boat.
Yeah, well, it's
That's
been a
an
little
expression.
bit, so I had to, but you introduced me as the book guy, so I at least had to talk a book for a second.
Of
And
course.
yeah, so
Of
I would call
course.
it more horror thriller than like fantasy, actually. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's all right. I would never recommend it to you, but some
You wouldn't
people
even
maybe.
recommend it. Not
No,
even on
no,
like a late list. Like on an
no,
end.
no.
Oh wow.
Maybe one day, maybe I don't know. I
Wait,
have a book I can tell you. Good.
not the one you're shitting on? Or the one
Yeah,
you're
I have
currently
one that
telling me
I'll tell
about?
you is like the most disappointing piece of media I've ever consumed.
And I absolutely shouldn't read that.
I don't know. Hard to say. We'll get there.
You told me that this thing you're currently talking about, I shouldn't even waste my time reading. But this thing that you're gonna shit on later, you're like, hey man,
It's a
that's up
hard
to you.
conversation that we're gonna have to have.
I
I've
guess
had it a
we'll
lot too.
I guess we'll get to that then. I guess we'll get to
Yeah,
that then. I
yeah.
I'm excited. You said that how many books are there in this series you're currently
This
reading?
current series,
The
3.
Justice series?
Yeah,
3.
3.
So you'll
I'm gonna
almost be
finish the
done
second
soon.
one tonight. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm gonna start a really good series next. I've
I'll
earned
be
it.
interested to hear your end game theory, like
I can tell you it's gonna be
opinions.
mid. I'm gonna be like, this is middle of the
Sometimes
road
things
shit.
surprise you, dude. I will sneak in real quick and say this because I'm going to talk about the whole series in general. Me and Brayden are going to do a video about it. But right after I texted you about how I was feeling about the Aragon books,
Mm-hmm.
they got increasingly better and better. Like
Is that right?
that's a series of books that me personally, throughout my reading of them, it got better as it went on. Like even like
Did you
middle
read
of Eldest, I
Murtaugh?
was like, I haven't read Murtaugh yet. I have it,
Okay, sorry.
but I haven't
I
read it
didn't
yet.
know if that was included.
That is not included, so I don't know
Okay,
about that
understood.
yet. But like
Not giving you grief. I'm just trying to understand.
the original 4 books,
Yes, sir.
yeah, as it went on, I was actually like, oh wow, I'm way more impressed. Like by the end of Eldest, I was like, yeah, that got better. And then the beginning of Brissinger, I was like, oh, every problem I had about the beginning of Eldest is not even like we're just
So
fucking going at
is
the beginning
Eldest
of
two
that
or
book.
is Eldest 2 or 3? I've never
Eldest is
read these.
2. Eldest is
Okay.
2. Brissinger is 3. And then in Inheritance, where I was already sold from Brissinger, I was like, I've watched this guy grow as a writer. You know, the first one came out, he was like 19. So we're watching this guy
Yeah.
grow as a writer, kind of as you're going on the journey. And you see that by the 4th book, you're like, he's gotten way better at writing. He's gotten way better at storytelling. The 4th one
I
was my
find that to be
favorite of the
fun.
books. I had a good time.
That's cool. That's a
For
great
this little
thing.
2-week break from Wheel Time,
Yeah.
I had a good time.
Good.
But when I texted you about it, I was like, I don't know, man. Like it's fine, but it's not
I
Wheel Time.
I
Which
don't
it's
know
not.
much about Aragon. I just know Tori said that when she was a kid and they were coming out, she didn't like the other ones. That she really loved the first one when she was a kid. But again, she was a kid, so I can't
Right.
say much. I'll
Yeah.
probably try to read them at some point, especially they seem like pretty quick, easy reads,
Yeah.
But it is
Like
fun
they're
when
pretty big. Like the last one's 800 something pages, but the font's pretty big. So
I love when you see a writer develop like that though. I think it's really fun.
and you see it, like I said, the 3rd book kicks off with this like fucking heist sort of thing. I've been comparing it to, it's like the Jabba's palace of the
Okay.
Return of the Jedi for
Yeah.
this series, and I
Cool.
was just like, it
This
starts
is
so
good.
fucked up. And here's the thing, another thing, Braden and I have talked about it too to death, but it's a YA series, but it has very dark graphic
Dude.
moments.
YA nowadays
Very.
especially not a good designation for a lot of books. For instance, what is his name? The guy who writes Empire of the Vampire. It's escaping me.
Yeah, Christopher? Something Christopher?
No, that's Pellini.
Oh fuck. That's who I'm talking.
Wait.
It's something with a K, isn't it?
Wait, it's I think it's right behind me.
Mine are in my other room.
Fuck, hold on, I have to know this.
Yeah.
Jay Kristoff.
Okay, I was close.
So he has another series that isn't that series that is labeled YA.
Yeah.
That he openly has like requested to not be put in YA, but apparently publishers really push for that because they say it sells more. And he's like, yeah, it has really, really rough sex scenes in there for the YA audience. So anyway, that's a side tangent. That's cool though that you enjoyed those.
I did. I had a good little break, and then I got like the 2 books that came out that follow, and I'll get to those. I kind of want some time to pass.
Yeah, I wasn't
kind of like how they did actually.
I just didn't know if that was included in your read. I wasn't sure.
No, but I got a sick collector's edition of Murtag,
I
and
love that.
it's
I love me a collection.
I wish I had it on me, but I left it at my mom's.
I almost bought yesterday. This is the first time I've been financially responsible in a long time. That I almost bought some special editions yesterday that I didn't, and
Wow.
they were no longer available. Like it was gonna be the one time I was gonna be able to buy them, and I didn't.
What book?
It's a great one. It's called the Sun Eater series.
Okay.
Haven't read it yet. Okay, but this will be a future nerd shit thing for sure because it is everybody who reads it just says it's the best book series ever. But the problem is I already own them and I haven't read it yet. And I didn't love the special editions, you know?
Okay,
and they were like $60. Yeah. They were like $60 a copy, so
yeah.
Anyway.
I've got my eye on my emails for when that fucking special edition of Eye of the World comes out, because
I promise you
is how I'll be purchasing all of those.
When that comes in, I'm going to be buying those until I'm 50.
Well, that's what I said. I was like, if they come out once a year, I'm going to be 30, or I'll be 40, like 6 when it's done.
So speaking of which, this is exciting. I've shown you my leather-bound copy of The Way of Kings. It was the double.
Beautiful, yes.
The second book in that
Very
series,
pretty.
the leather-bound of that just shipped today, which I'm very excited about. Yeah. So I'll be getting that like next week. Pretty pumped.
Always exciting getting books in the mail.
Yeah. I know, and I was on a spree of not buying books because I ran out of space, and then I bought that big-ass bookshelf. So pumped.
So now you got room. Yeah, time to get some books on that shit.
Yeah.
I like it.
Tell me something else.
I'll tell you something else. I kind of have a theme to my night. A little, I guess. Not really. Not based off what I just showed you, but from this point forward. I got into some comic reading on the side, and last week, the last episode of the show, I talked about the new Ultimate Spider-Man comic series that's been going on for about a year or so now, and how it's like a retelling of the Spider-Man story in a very new, different kind of way. Like, Peter doesn't get his powers until he's like 30 something. He's already married and has kids, and like certain characters are alive that aren't. Just a retelling. It's characters you know, but told in a different kind of focus. And I talked about the Spider-Man series that I'd been following. But in the in-between, I follow this guy on YouTube. His name is something that I am just blanking on. Cosmonaut Variety Hour. And he did a review of his Year series. And he talked about another comic series that kind of did the same thing. And it's called the Absolute Batman comic series. Okay. And there's only 5 issues out right now. So it's still very early on. But I bought all 5 of those issues to read them to talk for this show, because the premise was already really cool, and then the first issue like really got me into it. So the premise of this, like, there's an absolute DC like line that they're doing, where like Absolute Superman, absolute, and it's all these like Elseworlds, different versions of the same characters, sort of thing. And Bruce's setup for this one is like, what if it's Bruce Wayne, but he's not raised like a rich person in Gotham? Like, he doesn't have the same kind of backstory. Does this guy still become Batman? And he does, for different reasons. And they kind of play with that. And like, Bruce's dad was like a teacher. Like, he was just a teacher at Gotham, and his mom, I don't even know what she did. But his dad gets killed at like a zoo field trip that he like won for his class. And his mom's still alive. Like I said, she is alive the whole time. So it's, not the Bruce Wayne backstory,
I think that's cool.
And why he still would become Batman. And there's still a lot of characters that from Batman lore, but like they're different. For instance, Alfred, he doesn't work for the Waynes because they're not a rich family. They're not a rich family. Sorry, I'm blanking.
Yeah, Alfred. They're not a rich family, so what's Alfred do?
Thank you.
How'd they go?
So Alfred's like a fucking secret agent for the government or some
What?
shit. I
Cool.
don't know. He got called back into Gotham for like the shit that's going on currently in the series. And he has a daughter and I think a dead wife that still like, well, the daughter lives in Gotham. The wife died while he lived in Gotham. So he's got a weird relationship with his daughter. And he's like on the track for these thugs that they're hunting down in the first issue, and Batman gets involved. So like he meets Batman through these means, and they like work together in like a cool, like
Okay.
very different version of
Very different
Sherlock
relationship
Holmes.
too, right?
Yes. And honestly, at this point, there's 5 issues. They're not like partners as of like they're working together from circumstance more than
Right.
they are like buds. But
Yeah.
Alfred like knows he's Bruce. Like he solved like this guy's life. He follows him. Bruce like in his real life just does various odd jobs. But the thing that really gets me is he's got friends, and his friends that he like grew up with that like had his back. You learn like his backstory of like when his dad died and how like he had to let his friends like pull him out of it. But all of his best friends are like known to become Batman villains. Like
Really?
Harvey
That's
Dent's
cool.
one of his buddies, and Oz,
Oz?
he's one of his buddies, and
Awesome.
Selena Kyle's one of his and like they play cards, and like he gathers information about like shit that he uses as Batman, like through like hanging out with them, and
With
I'm
his
just
friends.
like where, like I'm thinking right now, like he's not dealing with any of them as villains in the comic line right now.
But
But
man,
I'm like,
when he
when that
does,
time comes, it's
it's
gonna
gonna
have
be
such more
great.
of an impact because
Yes.
of it's and the way he is Batman, like his outfit's very. Let me try to get a picture up of it.
I'm gonna Google it. Absolute Batman.
I think the first issue cover does a really good job of
Oh shit.
if this fucking thing ever.
These look cool, huh?
Yes. Yeah, look at that bat. Look at that Batman.
That's the one I'm looking at. That is cool.
Yeah, and the artwork's really cool just in the comic itself, but
So these are comics, not graphic novels?
yeah, they're like modern day comics. Yeah.
Cool.
I get
Very
them
cool.
they're pretty cheap on Kindle. You can just buy them for like $5 and read an issue. And like I said, it's still very early. They haven't even finished the first like
It sounds
technical
really
arc,
cool though.
but
I know
it's
some people that would
fun.
love that.
It's really, and I could get more into the story, but I don't really want to spoil much of it. But
Yeah.
you're seeing this
Sounds
kind
really
of
cool.
very detective. I think he's supposed to still be a younger Batman, like a newer Batman, Bruce Wayne. And you're learning kind of like it seems like they're doing like a very Arrow style
yeah.
way of telling his backstory. Like they weave it into the plot a little, so you learn more of it. Because like as of right now, I'm like, how did he get trained to be Batman? I don't really know that, but I'm sure we'll get there over time.
Yeah, I think it sounds super cool because for me, it's all even like the Batman with Robert Pattinson. It's really good, right? But with all these characters, they're excellent, they're amazing. But man, it is the same story. Like, oh, like don't get me wrong, I enjoy it, but it is the same story. But the characters are so fucking good, they're hard to get rid of. But this is a good way to do it, to twist, to retell it essentially. And that's what they do that.
I don't know where it's
books,
going.
right?
It's something I'm familiar with.
You don't know where
but I
it's
have
going.
no fucking clue what could happen or why.
Yeah, because he's a little bit of a different character,
Yes,
because it's a different life.
And the way he interacts with everybody and how they are friends that grew up from childhood.
That's neat.
On
really cool.
Are these people that I know as the reader are like, ooh, like Harvey Dent, like
that's really cool.
What's gonna happen? It's kind of sad ahead of time.
Of course.
But it's different enough that you're like, let's see how it gets there. And I like watching the Alfred like it's mostly through Alfred's perspective of the first issue.
Interesting.
And it's like 40 pages. Neat. I couldn't put it down. I was like, I'm in, man.
Yeah,
and then
type of
they start off big, and then issue by issue, like you don't get as much every issue, but like it's still a good read.
It's an interesting style of storytelling of like the perspective character isn't really the main character,
Yeah.
Like Alfred's the perspective character, but it's Batman is the main character.
Right.
Still.
And you still do feel like Batman's heavily involved in it, but yeah, it's
That's
all
neat.
a lot of like Alfred's dialogue, Alfred's thought, who Alfred is communicating with, because he's working with some government form to be like in town to hunt this like gang of thugs that they're dealing with that
Very
are
neat.
very interesting. They might be aliens. I'm not entirely sure what the fuck's going on with them. So that that's built in there, and they fucking kill off like the Falcones and the Maronis like issue 1. Is you're just like,
Really?
all
That's
right, we're
neat.
not fucking around. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, it's something that I'm interested. Like, I'm not always into that whole like, oh, take a story and change it up a bit type of thing, like a what if.
Yeah.
But in the comic book realm,
But it's
especially when you
needed in these characters, especially, I think. You
change it
know?
up like entirely. Like sometimes they just
Yes.
change it a little, and it's like, it's almost the same shit I
No, let's
saw.
flip it on its head. That sounds really cool.
Yeah,
I have somebody very specific I will recommend that to. Really cool.
cool. Yeah, you got a Batman friend.
Oh, dude, he's your age. It's Jeremy's older brother. That he's your age, and he gets Batman toys for Christmas still, and he has 3 kids, and he's like, don't touch my Batman toys. Like we have one
Mm-hmm.
rule in this house: don't touch the Batman toys. Yeah. I have something new to talk about. I didn't even tell you that this happened.
What a
Yep.
surprise!
I was waiting. I knew eventually you'd have me on again, and we're gonna do our best. We're not gonna spoil anything, but I did finish Attack on Titan last week.
Oh, buddy,
I have been watching Attack on Titan for 9 and 10 months,
I was really hoping.
maybe more.
I was Go on.
I'm 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 happy that we've waited to talk about it because I'm very torn up on
I'm
it.
surprised you didn't even text me about it, to be
Dude,
honest.
because I don't have an opinion. My opinion still isn't fully formed on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Yeah. Even now, you can hear the trepidation in my voice to even speak upon such topic.
No, I want to let it out. Let it out here on this show
Okay, let's
live.
start with this. And here's where
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. And here's what's hard. The first 3 seasons of that show. Follow what I'm about to say to you. First 3 seasons are my favorite pieces of television and or movie of all time. Period. Number 1. I finished I finished season 3.
Yeah.
4th of July of last year. Okay, so that's
Yes.
not a new biased opinion. That is 7.5 months of thinking about it. I
Yeah.
loved it that fucking much. Okay,
It's good. It's good. It's good.
the first third / first half of the last season,
The first season of the last season?
I fucking loved it. Do you follow me?
Ooh,
Follow what I'm
yeah.
saying to you? Other people don't like it, so I'm not just biased. I don't just follow the crowd. Other people aren't a fan. I loved it, and I texted you that. I texted you. I was like 5 or 6 episodes into the 4th season, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude, this
The
is
fact that you were enjoying the beginning, I was like,
incredible.
that's a good sign.
I loved. Listen, this is a very passionate speech from me. I loved it, Chase. I loved it. The second half. Yeah. It just,
Ooh.
I don't even like to say it out loud because it hurts. It hurts my fucking soul. It's my favorite thing I've ever watched, and it hurt
And
me.
that's where you started not liking it, in that second chunk.
It hurt me, dude. It hurt me to my fucking core. It hurt me.
Explain. Show your work.
It's hard to explain without spoilers, but I'm gonna do it.
Do it. This has been done for years.
Okay. I'm trying to think exactly where it falls off for me. But like I think it's where as soon as Aaron okay, let's go 4th season. So it starts they're over in what's the country the name of the like where Rhina is. I fucking loved all of that, dude.
Marley.
I thought that was awesome. That was awesome with Rhina. I like Rhina as a character. I really like Rhina as a character, actually. Okay?
Totally.
Fucking great character.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the scene, fucking God bless Tori, I'm screaming and cheering and doing this one of the best scenes of any show ever. Aaron's in that fucking basement with Rhina, and you know it's Aaron by now. Okay, you follow me.
Yeah.
You know it's Aaron by now, and he's sitting there, and he's like kind of talking to Rhina, and you think he's making amends with Rhina, and you don't know what's gonna happen. Okay,
Ugh.
and he fucking bites his hand, and you don't know it, and he like goes and shakes his hand, and he says, "We'll just keep moving forward," and you're like, "Huh?" And he says, "Until all my enemies are dead." Boom! Blows that fucker up. Chase, I'm in bed. Fucking yeah! I mean, at the top of my lungs, screaming. I'm going nuts. I love this show, okay? I love this show. It's so good. And it's
Yeah.
cool. And at this point, they bring in more Titans, and you're learning about the Titans, which is so fucking awesome. But somewhere in the middle there, dude, it just loses me. I think it's when, so they go back to Paradis, and then I don't have it I'm just going off memory. I don't have it broken down in this way, but then they do these flashbacks of the time between season 3 and season 4, those 3 years that happened in between. I like that. I think that's cool. And, you know, they basically Aaron's pissed because nothing gets done, you know? But man, I think it's as soon as he makes contact with his half brother, blonde,
the Beast,
glasses. Yeah, the
Fuck is
Beast
his
Titan.
name?
Let's just say that.
Yes.
As soon as he makes contact with him and he goes into like the spirit realm, from there on out, it just I just don't
You didn't
know,
dig that.
man.
Got too anime for you.
It's not just I just don't know that I like because then the story, I think this is where it's hard. Because Aaron then is out of most of the story. Like there's like a 6-episode spree where he's literally not in it. And the problem is, like, I think what they did better earlier is that Armon and Mikaza,
our main mon.
but like, and Mikaza, like, I think that whole crew, they just had like actual a little bit of character development, maybe. And then, so to try to make them the main characters and the main good guy, I don't know. It just didn't work for me the way I wanted it to.
You didn't like seeing the Avengers come together to fight Aaron, the
Dude,
ultimate evil?
They wouldn't win. Like, they wouldn't win. Let's be honest. They wouldn't fucking win. They're not beating him. And it's just hard for me too that, like, I think another really big issue for me is the whole series is like, we have to save our people. We have to save ourselves. We have to save our people. And then in an instant, it goes to like, and I understand, like, yeah, you don't want Aaron to kill everybody. I get it. But it's just hard that the whole series is like, yeah, we have to save our people. We have to save our people from the Titans. And then it's, okay, we have to save our people from the rest of the world, including the people that sent the Titans at us. And all of a sudden, at the drop of a hat, it turns into, no, we have to save everybody else. But there's never a discussion in there of like, okay, but then what? You know? Like, they just all of a sudden don't give a fuck about Paradis. Like, any of them. That their whole fucking lives and this whole show has been, how do we save Paradis? How do we save these people of Paradis? And then all of a sudden it's, yeah, well, we just have to make sure Aaron doesn't kill everybody. It's like, well, for 3.5 fucking seasons that made me love this show, that's not what this was about. Because guess what's still going to happen in the future after this whole resolution of the show? Do you know what's going to happen? All of Paradis is going to die. They're going to come kill them. That's what's going to happen in the future. It just didn't.
It's kind of what they show you at the end.
It's fucking stupid. And I understand. Maybe they're trying to make a point. Well, fuck that point, dude. I don't know. I'm sorry if you disagree. It just hurt my feelings because I loved it so fucking much.
So you were done the whole way till the end?
It was the middle.
The middle. Okay. What did you think of the final 2 movies?
I didn't like that because they're just still the whole time they're like, we must stop Aaron. We have to stop Aaron. And I'm like, guys, your literal whole lives have been to save your home. But no one, if they would have had a 5-minute fucking talk about what are we gonna do in the future? Like, what is our plan to save Paradis? None of that. I just don't understand how you go from that is their whole life's purpose to I understand in the show how they presented it, but if we're just being realistic about what we've been doing, it just seemed it pulled me out of the story a lot. And I was like, this is fucking bullshit. This is silly. I just fuck, it sucked. I hate it was
Oh,
gross, man.
I'm
I
so
didn't like that.
sorry.
I didn't like that personally. I understand it, right?
Mhm.
But it just I don't know, it just didn't do it for
It's
me.
not the direction you wanted it to go.
It isn't the direction I wanted to go. I'm not even saying
That's
it's
so sad.
bad. It's not
Yeah.
even saying it's bad. It just hurt my fucking feelings. But I still say the first 3.5 seasons are my favorite thing ever. That's how adult I am. That I'll still say that.
Yeah.
That I. What did you think about it?
I like the ending. I'm
Ugh.
perfectly content with the ending.
I think it's
Especially the way it was
fine.
animated. I was like,
Oh, the animation. It's my favorite animation.
yeah. I read it as the manga, like I read it as chapters were coming out, which I think did me a disservice a little bit, but I still liked it when I read it like that.
Oh,
So, I
it
don't know.
just. It's also. I don't know. I don't know. And I understand. Maybe I just wanted Aaron to be the good guy. Maybe that's what it is at the end of the day.
I mean, in a way he kind of is. In a way he kind of is the good guy.
I fucking agree, but then all of his people turned against him and tried to stop him. I didn't fucking like it. I think they should have killed everybody.
Maybe that says something about yourself, man. I don't know.
I don't know. They're all gonna
You
die.
don't
The whole
like the
point.
Avengers coming together to save the
The
world?
whole. They weren't the Avengers, dude. They're his fucking
Oh, they're the
sidekicks.
Avengers.
Dude, they're his sidekicks. Those people fucking
They
grip on
sidekicked
his.
his ass.
Dude, let's be realistic. Never in a million years, those fucking bums. Those fucking bums. Now, I like Mikasa, but
Everybody else?
Armin was a good. He was. I really liked him as a character, and then in the last season, it just felt like they just didn't do anything with him. I was, and the inclusion. I kind of have a problem with Annie too. That like it's kind of hard to make me give a shit about Annie that she's been doing nothing for all this time. I don't know. Love Rhina, great character. Um,
Good.
yeah, I don't know. It hurt my feelings, but the
I'm
first three and a
sorry
half
that
seasons are
that's
the
the
best.
experience you had. I'm
They're
so
the
sorry.
best. They're
I
the
was
best.
hoping that you were gonna come in here and be like, "Woo!"
It's
But you
still
know what?
so good though. It's still
That's
so
good.
worth
Yeah.
watching, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like it the whole way through, so yes.
Ugh, I don't know. What do you think about the whole idea that he has influenced all of this from the very beginning? What do you about Aaron? What do you think about that whole idea?
I think it was the only direction that they could possibly go with the pieces they set up for that early on.
Okay, like
And
what pieces? Do you any specific?
they start like putting in little pieces of like characters being influenced by Aaron in a weird way. Like you only find out that he has been in full control in the last episode. So
Right.
there's like these little sprinkles that they put on, like even in season 3 when Aaron at the end of season 3 when Aaron's dad is talking to that guy on the wall who just then starts being like, I'm Aaron and blah blah blah. Like right there it was like, oh, this is going in a weird direction. This is going in a kind of fantasy mix direction now too.
Yeah.
So they sprinkled it in. So by the time it happened, I was already expecting some sort of, time travel mumbo jumbo gimmick that they kind of set up too with Aaron kissing Crystal or whatever the fuck her real name is to like make those visions come to light. So he learned early on that that's like the one reality that like everybody he cares about gets to live. Because to Aaron, he's doing all of this because it's the only way that his sidekicks, as you've called them, get to all
Sidekicks.
live and have like
Long
prosperous
lives.
lives.
Yeah.
Now, the future can be awful, and it does become awful, and we don't know how many hundreds or so years later that happens. But he dies knowing that at least his friends, the people he loves, get to have a period of peace.
So what do you
That's what
think?
makes it kind of a bittersweet ending.
Okay. I just need to talk to you about this. This is you're
I've had a
swaying
lot
me.
of time to think about
You
this.
have, and you're swaying me.
I think the
What
last
do you
chapter came out like years ago.
now? What do you think about? Because so you say that, but at the same time, he keeps talking about how he can't prevent it. So is that what it is? What future he can't prevent is that he's going to kill all these people, but at the very least, in this iteration, he can save his people.
Right, which is essentially what he's
Okay.
talking to Armin about when they have that fucking in
Weird
his
moment.
head. Yes,
Yeah.
that we cut back
Okay.
and forth to.
Yeah. Okay. I wish they would have shown. I wish they would have shown him and Mikasa together. Their moment.
Mm-hmm.
I would have liked to see that. What I think you told me, or maybe it was my friend Andrew, told me that there's something they did differently in the manga from the anime. What is that?
Yes.
I've been waiting to ask you that.
It's something very like I'm actually having. It's something in the conversation between Armin and Eren that they kind of added that made it work a little more naturally than it did in the manga. I don't think for me personally, it didn't make much of a difference. But when the episodes came out, there were people online
were
being like,
"Whoa!"
"Oh my god, that's so blah blah blah." I'm like, I already fucking saw it like that. But
You've
okay.
swayed me. You've swayed me.
And you know,
I never said it was bad. I never said it was bad. It just hurt my feelings.
Yeah, no, and I'm not here to like tell you that you should
No,
like
you're
it.
not.
But that's just one way that I look at how that all
I
played
like
out.
that way you look at it because I don't have to look at him as a bad guy.
No, I mean he is a bad guy to the world, but like
dude, but they fucked
to
them
what he
up for
sees as
generations.
justice. Yeah.
And
he saw all those lives.
I just was so fucking frustrated because repeatedly he says to them, because they just keep saying, let's do something to buy more time to Eren. Let's do something to buy more time. We don't need to go fight them. We don't need to do this.
Right.
And he's like, guys, you had 3 fucking years. We didn't do shit for 3 years. We made no progress. So I don't know. I'm just Team Eren all the way. I guess that's where I stand on it. But how good? Those first 3.5 seasons. You know what? You've done me a great service tonight. That little bit of talk has swayed me quite a bit.
I don't, because I think like this gave you a very impression that they turned Eren into like the villain, when really he is a villain, but he's like if Eren's the guy you're following, he did what he kind of set out to do. Get freedom for his friends.
A bit more resolution on like, I still have the problem of I think there was a lack of character development for the other characters in that last season.
Okay.
And I just think it's a gross, like, nobody, just all of a sudden we go from parody is like so important to these people to like, they're like, yeah, whatever.
Well, it starts doing, this is a thing I see in manga a lot too, where like a lot of them want to talk about by the end of their series some kind of form of world peace and understanding people of different cultures. So they kind of got that. Like they kind of started by showing, I mean, the whole beginning of the 4th season is like, okay, we told you about these awful fucking people at the end of last season that sent them here.
I thought that was really good.
Let's see who they are as people. So you as the audience are like, oh, they're just people too. So when you start seeing the characters all kind of seeing each other as not just people from different.
And this is so important, though, to understand me as a person, that as soon as I found out they were real people too, that I knew they were real people, and when Eren blew them the fuck up, I was so... I'm in the bed, I jump up on my feet, and I'm screaming.
I kill a bunch of those little fuckers.
Tori's so fucking patient because I sat there with the fire stick and clicked rewind like 10 times and watched. Oh, so good. Okay, sorry. That's my Attack on Titan rant. I finished it. It is one of my favorite things I've ever consumed. It is that good. Those first fucking 3 seasons specifically. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah. I don't think there's nothing wrong. In 3 seasons, I don't think they do a single thing incorrectly. And even in the 4th season, there's things you might not like, but at least they finish the story, I guess. Like you do get a resolution no matter what, which sometimes
there is a resolution to the characters. There is not really a resolution to the world.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, and I think I'm not big on let's leave it up to your interpretation. stuff
Mhm.
in general, I think it's kind of fucking lame. That's like an artsy whatever thing.
See,
That's not for
here's
me.
a fun fact too. This is something. So, do you know how like during the credits of the final episode where it's showing like where the world goes and like the bombs and the tree grows and the person walks into the tree, that shit.
Yeah.
So when the final chapter first came out, that part of the comic wasn't there. And then
Okay.
people bitched about the ending. So he added those pages later on. And when those pages came out, that's when I was like, I don't like this ending. Like where it was kind of left up to like who knows what will happen. It gave this very finite ending that originally, the way he originally put it out, wasn't there. And then they added that. And the way that I like that the anime does it is they toss it into the end credits. Like it's almost like
Yeah.
don't even watch this.
Don't bother with that. Yeah, because what is that
Because
even supposed to mean?
I could leave it at the Mikasa sitting in Aaron's grave and the bird flies off. And that's how the chapter ended. We didn't get this like maybe the Titans still exist fucking ending that didn't need to exist.
Interesting. Has
Yeah.
that guy written anything since?
I don't think so. If anything, just a couple one-offs, but
Dude,
nothing.
it is so good. I just even I have chills. It is that good to me. It is
Yeah.
truly. I think it is that fucking good.
When people ask me if they're ready, like what's an anime they should start with anime, I usually if they want like something super solid, like all around just good, I send them in that direction.
I can't think of anything I like more. I love Full Metal Alchemist, but not when I
Fullmetal
say it's my
Alchemist, another
favorite,
one I throw people at.
that's an easy one. I just when I don't know what, especially I'm old, I'm grouchy, I'm a curmudgeon. That's something that just gets me that fucking excited. That
Full Torque.
oh my god, just that excited.
Yeah.
God, it is that good. Sorry for my rant. I took up a lot of time here, but
No,
you've
you're
made me
good.
feel a lot better about it, which I appreciate.
That's that's what I'm here for. If
It
I
is
like
good.
something, I'll usually, I'm not gonna change anybody's opinions, but I will say why I have mine and why I like certain
I
things.
think too. I definitely have the problem. I'm not the best critic because I was already angry by the time the end happened. Not angry, but I was like, "What are we doing?" Because I was frustrated with
Yeah.
certain things. But I like that. Man, is it good though? Fuck. Oh, yeah, I
And
love
just
it.
pretty to look at. Yeah, just pretty to look at.
It is the best. I mean, for me, I understand it's like a different style of animation than other animations, but for me, it's the best animation that I've watched. Now, I've not watched a ton of animes, admittedly, but I'm like,
It
it's
is
just
one of the
very
best.
unique. It's very
Yeah.
unique.
It's
You know what I mean?
the people that animated the first 3 seasons are one of my all-time favorite animation studios, and the people that did the 4th season, they're just everything they touch is gold lately,
So, is it
in my
still the
opinion.
case that I know I had seen an announcement at one point that the people that did the first, I think it was the first 3 seasons, that they were gonna do a redo of One Piece. Is that
That
still?
you are correct on that. That is still with Netflix. I
That would
don't know
be
when that's
interesting.
coming, but yeah, I will be
So,
I'll be
so
there to
for
see it.
you, so for you, what else is up there with? I know we're kind of on a tangent now, but what else is up there with Attack on Titan for animes for you?
Like when I
We don't need it.
just
We
in
don't need a
general or for
list. Yeah, we don't
like
need
if
like
I'm
a one
sending
through
people to
three of your
watch it.
best. No, like what are your favorites? We don't need an exact 1 through 3, but like just throw some out there that you're like, this is, you know,
You know what's fun about anime is it gives you a lot of reasons to have it as something you love.
yeah, they're all
A-
they're different. There's a lot of
Attack on
different
Titan is
genres.
like the genre itself. It's 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 a beautiful piece of anime, but like at the same time, I can sit here and be like, I am not gonna hide that I love flaws included. I love Naruto. Naruto's one
Yeah,
of my
Naruto's
all-time
great.
most influential, not the most, but one of the most influential
Still
animes of
haven't
my
finished it, by the way.
life.
I still haven't finished
That's
it.
wild.
I have to go. Well, I hadn't even started it before I met you. So,
That's true. You were on such a roll though. Like
dude, I was on a crazy
dude,
roll. And
yeah,
then, do you know
I'm
what
actually
happened?
shocked that you
So,
didn't
I'll
finish
probably
it.
go back to it now. Do you know what happened? This
What's
is
that?
sad. I used Jeremy and Becca's Hulu. And
Mm,
first off, Hulu, like the interface is just the worst. And um, it was just a bad barrier to begin with. And I understand that. But
yeah.
then now their Hulu has commercials.
Oh,
And I'm like, I'd rather. It's honestly what stopped us
rather
from watching
die.
Attack on Titan for a while, is
Yeah.
because it was on Hulu and the commercials. I'd rather die. I just won't watch it. I'll just go back to my
No.
books. There's no commercials in the books.
Only the ones
So,
you need to take.
so anyway, I'm halfway through Shippuden. Also, I just think I hit the highest of highs on Naruto. I just can't imagine
You were
a
having
high
such a
being
good
better.
time with it. Yeah,
I
and that's
was,
the thing. I'd say the
but the
tail end of it is like you'd probably have the same issues as you're having with
but I need
Attack
to
on
know what
Titan.
happens, just like I needed
That
to know what happened
yes,
on Attack on Titan.
absolutely, absolutely. And that the
But
good
the
thing is
point I hit.
it sprinkles in a lot of like good things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Naruto's ending. I like
I'll get
Naruto
back
through
to
and
it.
through. I think the final arcs are kind of some of its weaker points, but full of highlight moments.
Okay, what else? Naruto,
But
Attack on
that's
Titan.
just like, influential anime, Naruto,
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, shit like that.
Uh-huh.
I like to send people a Death Note. I'm like, you should watch
Oh
Death Note.
yeah, we
That's a
that's what I talked about
must.
too. I
That's
haven't
a
watched a Death Note
must.
in like 10 years, but damn, that's a good one too. That you think anime has to be like this explosive genre, or yeah.
I mean,
Damn.
it's a medium that covers so many different kinds of genres and so many different reasons why you might take to it. Like for instance, I'm a huge, huge hold that thought.
I'm holding my thoughts,
Had to grab
holding
my
my
iPad. It fell
thoughts.
on the floor. My son
It's
came
okay.
running in. I was like, I gotta grab that.
It's okay. I was holding my thought.
Duh, duh, duh. I am a huge shit. What was I saying?
Anime. What other animes?
Yes. Animes.
We love the old school
Demon
that's
Slayer.
influential.
I'm a
Dude,
huge Demon Slayer fan.
I
I
know. So
fucking love Demon Slayer.
I got through about 5 or 6 episodes of Demon Slayer, and my friend Andrew, who loves anime as much as you, maybe more, it's all he watches. He doesn't do anything else.
Yeah, I watch other stuff.
That's why I say maybe more. He's a one-trick pony. He tells me right where I got to is where it gets a lot better in Demon Slayer. I gotta try it again.
Oh yeah, the first 6 episodes is where you stopped. Of course,
Yeah,
it gets a
dude.
lot better from there.
Well, I'm a
Jesus,
prick.
the beginning.
I get detached.
Yeah, no, it gets
Like
way
where I
better from there.
got to, they meet. He goes to this town, and there's like a new bad guy. It's really like the 6th episode, though.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. Is it something worth trying? You're telling me. I mean, everybody else loves
Dude,
it, so I might be wrong.
fucking love Demon Slayer. It's
I
so
might be.
goddamn good. And here's the thing, dude. When I first watched it, almost the entire first season, like I liked it. It was very like, oh, this is like a good modern anime. Like I was pretty into it.
Mhm.
And then like the end of the first season, I was like, oh, this is getting pretty. Like I'm invested in this. So Mugen Train was in theaters, and I was like, let's go watch it. Let's go see Mugen Train. And that from that movie forward, I was like, this fucking shit rocks my goddamn socks, and it
You're
hasn't
hooked.
let me down since, man. It is. And the thing about Demon Slayer is like the story itself, it's not one of the most deep and intricate stories.
Yeah.
It's not one of the most intricate stories, but like they do such a good job animating the material, the music with the material, how they go about certain scenes and like the action pieces that just elevates Demon Slayer for me to a fucking 11 of a series. It's so just fun to watch.
I have to.
And
do
like
it.
the
I'm gonna have to
story
get back
is
into
still
it.
decent. It's not like Attack on Titan levels of like fucking not like craziness, but like
Mm-hmm.
it's so good. It's
Yeah.
so good.
I
The
think I'm just gonna
director
need. I'm gonna
of
need some
those
time.
episodes. Yeah,
I'm gonna need
no,
some time
sure. And
because
like I
that
said,
story was
you
that.
kind of have to get through the first and like I go back now and watch the first season and it's better because like of everything I
Yeah.
know and like
You know
what
where
we
it goes.
like the first episode to me is honestly one of the best first episodes of anime. I like next to like Attack on Titans.
Yeah.
It's like up there is like such a solid one. And yeah, I mean I have all the Jujutsu Kaisens. I'm a pretty big fan of Jujutsu Kaisen.
I watched the first season.
Yeah, the anime's dope. It's done really well. Same people that did the last season of Attack on Titan.
I really enjoyed Chainsaw Man, and it's just goofy, but it's good. It's fun, goofy. You know.
I follow Chainsaw Man. It's
It's
pretty.
goofy. It's fun.
It's
I'm not gonna recommend it to people. To be clear, I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
it's
I'm just
like
thinking of ones
you're
I've
either
watched.
in it or out of it, you know. I wish
Have
they'd
you
get
ever?
to the next season already though,
Yeah.
because like they cut it off like still really early on in the series as a whole. Like
Have you heard of this one called Freerin? It's apparently become pretty popular.
Freerun?
Freerin, yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm gonna recommend one to you. I haven't watched it either, but my friend Andrew says it's like one of his favorite ever, and it's very new. It just came out like last cycle.
Hmm.
It's about this elf, this woman elf who goes on a big. I've read the description like 6 times. I just need to start it. But she goes on this big quest to save the world, and this is after the quest, and she's goes back to the town where all of her quest friends lived. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like years later, to
Mm-hmm.
realize that they have all aged and died because she's like, an elf and they live forever. Yeah. Apparently it's
Wow.
very good. Apparently it's very good, Chase. That's what I hear from everybody.
Sad right out the
I know, but
gate.
apparently it's very good. I'm
Like
telling
a
you.
Disney movie.
Chase, listen, the guy that
I
I'm
like
talking
Disney
about,
movies.
he's emotionally stunted and he loves it. So I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna try it.
I'll at least look into it. I'll hear us have
Okay.
this conversation 3
Okay.
more times as I'm editing. So
Well,
like,
I'm sorry, I keep rambling.
I'll remember it.
Tell me something new because I have some more new as well.
You have some more new?
Is that okay?
Throw me another one of your news. I want to
Here's a
hear another
quick
one of
new.
your
Let me give
news.
you a quick new that I've been
Okay.
watching that I've been really into. I binged like 20 episodes real quick. I
Mm-hmm.
am watching Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Okay, now listen. Now, if you're like me, let me give you a little short spiel. If you're like me, you're thinking, this can't be good, okay? Because if we're being honest, the first whole arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, with Yami and Yugi and Kaiba, when you go back and watch it, is it really that good? It's not. It's not great. It's not amazing.
I think it's pretty good.
I love it, but I understand that like if you were a 30-year-old watching it, you might not get into it. I fucking love it, okay? But I recognize it's a lot of nostalgia. So I tried to watch the second arc, and I watched a lot of it. With
GX.
new characters. GX. Okay. I watched a good bit of it,
Generation X.
but it just didn't pull me in.
You didn't get your game on.
That's what he does. He gets his game on, but you know what the problem is. I've thought about this. I've dissected of why the third series is good. It's because these characters are playing a card game, right? But they
the one where they're on the motorcycles.
Listen, you think it's dumb. And listen, I did too. I tried to watch years ago and I couldn't get into it. Dude, it's fucking good. It's fucking good. I'm liking it. I'm really liking it. I think so they're on motorcycles sometimes, but not all the time. But not all the time. And the motorcycle shit is very fucking goofy.
Like in real life, how people are on motorcycles sometimes. But
the motorcycle shit's very goofy, but I've realized the second iteration, why it was tough for me is that they're not like trying to save the world. Like in the first iteration, every fucking duel they have is like to save the life of a friend or to save the goddamn world over this card game. And Yugi takes it so seriously all the time, and Kaiba's so serious all the time.
Kaiba's the most serious person that's ever lived.
It is the most serious. And in the second iteration, like Jade and Yuki is just like a goofball, and that's fun. But I think it's where I get lost in it. And back in the third iteration, we're back to everybody. It's like life and death to win these duels. And it's really good. It's good. I really like it. I'm surprised. I didn't think I would.
How many episodes are you into it?
20. So I'm in it where I'm like, no, I've decided this is good. I'm going to keep watching it. Yeah.
Are you going to watch the movie where they all tag team together? Yugi, Jaden, and that guy?
Probably not. Probably not. Probably not, but it's more about so in the first one, it's ancient Egypt. This one's like ancient Peru. It's cool. I'm into it. I'm telling you, it's kind of neat. I promise you.
It's different.
I wouldn't steer you wrong on some Yu-Gi-Oh. Now I'm not telling you to watch it. I'm just telling you.
You wouldn't steer me like on a motorcycle.
The motorcycle's crazy, and that's
the motorcycle the dual disc. Or
they're dual disc. They're It's really goofy because there's like speed. Listen,
That's
the
why I've
motorcycles
never
are dumb.
watched
I
it.
don't know what you want me to tell you. It is Yu-Gi-Oh from the beginning. The motorcycles are dumb. I can't change
It's
the
Yu-Gi-Oh, but
motorcycles.
like Tron a little.
But they don't do the motorcycles all the time, which is important for me. But the motorcycles, yes, are very fucking
We can do
goofy.
motorcycles, but we can't do motorcycles all the time, okay?
They're very goofy. They really
Sometimes
are.
we just
And
gotta play cards.
that's what made me drop out the first time I tried to watch it, was the motorcycles. But I'm back in it and I like it.
You
Yeah.
5D'd by dodge, dip, duck, diving, and dodging out of the way of that
On a
show.
Dodge Challenger. Yeah. Yeah, fucking motorcycles, dude. But I like it. It's good. I'd recommend if somebody's like addicted to Yu-Gi-Oh like me.
That's cool.
And
I mean,
yeah, and because
I'm
there's more
going through a
game
Yu-Gi-Oh
mechanics
phase.
as well, like the actual
There'd
game of
have to be.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Well,
Right.
yeah, like that's what's hard too. If you go back and watch the first iteration of the show, I mean, first off, the whole first season, Yugi cheats. He just doesn't follow the rules.
Well, they make the
There's
rules.
that. I mean, he doesn't. He just literally just cheats the whole time. He's like, yeah, just fucking stab the moon, do weird shit instead of like, hey, you know what I mean? Which is
Thank
great.
God these
I love it.
holograms are here that we could do this. Yeah.
I fucking love it.
Yeah,
but
it makes it cool as an anime.
yeah, but by the third iteration, you know, the
They're
game
playing the
mechanics
card
are a little
game,
bit more
right?
advanced. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I like
Yeah.
it. That's one of my new nerd things. There you go.
I will respect your review and at least check it out.
You don't have to check it out. I'm just saying, in a couple years, one day you're going to be bored.
Oh yeah, I'm
and
not
you're
gonna
be sitting
say I'm gonna
around.
check it out right now, but it's now that you've told me it's good. Jake, you haven't steered me wrong with your recommendations of good yet. So
I like that.
with
What else you got?
Yu-Gi-Oh, I'll check it out. I got one other thing. And I actually did this for this episode because it kind of matched what I was just talking about anyways. But the last time we had seen each other in person, you had asked me about the Penguin and I hadn't watched it yet. So between yesterday and today, I watched all 8 episodes.
Oh shit.
Well,
so bad news. I've
yeah.
only watched. Just don't spoil the last episode.
Oh my god, you've watched every episode but the last episode?
Yeah. I got on Attack on Titan, dude. What do you want? I got on Attack on Titan.
I thought you had watched the whole thing when you
I
fucking
watched
told me
1
about
through
it
7,
months ago.
and then you know, then
Up there.
he bit himself. He blows up his enemies. I couldn't stop watching it. I know.
Oh my god.
It's good though, right?
It's really fucking good.
It's
yes.
so fucking good. Like actors deserving awards level good. Genuinely,
like here's the thing. Boy. I mean, so many good
fuck
things.
You up with that?
No. So many good things to say about it. But I think like overall story-wise, it's my 3rd favorite show of last year. Like it still falls behind a couple other shows for me.
Quick, what are they? Just quick.
Shogun for number 1.
Love it.
And Fallout for number 2. Fallout was really fun. I really, really enjoyed that show.
Okay.
And I think that I blame shows like that to why I'm just like so like a little number to certain aspects of certain things that make this show, like the Penguin, as good as it is, because now I'm getting used to just quality. I'm like,
yeah,
of course it's good. Things should be good. And
I think
it's
Shogun's
really good.
all time good. So
Shogun's fucking awesome.
Great book too.
That also deserved all the awards that it got. But
yes,
the thing that the Penguin really nails is everything. Literally everything. Like all the actors are firing on all cylinders. All the like costume people are firing on all cylinders. Everybody working on this aesthetic wise, firing on all cylinders. Taking a villain and making an entire series around that villain. Something they're doing a little more these days.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking mastered it with this.
It's shocking. It is genuinely shocking to me to make me care about it that much. To make me care about a Batman world. I'm not the biggest Batman guy. I like Batman, but Batman doesn't exist, and I don't give a damn because all I care about is Oscar Cobblepot.
Like you're almost wondering what the fuck is Batman getting up to right now in this storyline? Yeah. Like while this is happening.
Think that, yeah.
But you know, you're not looking for him.
Not in a bad way, for sure.
No, not in a bad way at all. You kind of understand why it's not really on his radar kind of shit, even though it's big for all the characters involved. Because it's taking place in like the slum area of Gotham. Another thing that's 100% is because the movie already did it. The Batman already showed this, but they kind of get you a little deeper into it in the series. Is like Gotham. Like they nail Gotham.
Neat, right?
They
It's
make
really cool.
Gotham
It
a
makes you care
real.
more.
It's almost as haunting as the way they make Gotham look in like the old Batman movies because it's so just chaotic,
Yeah.
but mixed with realism. It's crazy.
And just in general that the show follows like the flooding that happens after the movie.
Yes,
You know?
and like how that affected the
and like one of the I think that's
people on
so
the street.
genius to make the kid from there and then show like the devastation and even just like how cool it is to show how it affected that kid's life and how he ended up with Oz. It just I don't know, like again, when you watch the movie,
the way they wove those scenes in.
Genius, man. Genius because you watch the movie and you see the flood happen and you're like, "Oh, that's bad." But then you get these
you get these personal stories like innocent people died. Like
this kid was having a great life. Now he's tied in with this shit, right?
Well, it's the kind of dark. It's this kind of dark reality that makes it like the series is an R-rated Max show, and the Batman movie is a PG-13 movie. It's still pretty hardcore, but it's PG. And like in an R movie, I don't think you can go into like how that flood fucking killed a bunch of people and like ruined people's lives. But in an R-rated HBO Max show, you can kind of deal with those issues.
Yeah.
And then utilize how they went about them in this show in the next Batman movie. It's fucking genius.
I thought it was.
And if you're gonna do villains, you better make it R-rated.
Dude,
they're bad guys.
Just to make me love the Penguin. I love
even though
him.
He's an absolute fucking piece of shit
from
beginning
and
to
the whole
end,
time
dude.
You are rooting for him, dude. It is so. I'm obsessed with it. I have this, and you'd say, why didn't you finish it? I think me not finishing it shows you the ultimate sign of respect because that is what I do when I love something. Attack on Titan. I finished season 3.
A little bit.
I pull away because I don't want it to end. It took me 6 months to watch the last season, so I'm sitting on the last episode waiting. And I just love it.
You might build it up in your head between now and then whatever happens in the last episode I
might finish it tonight. Tori's giving me the go-ahead to watch it without her. I love that. I think he's so good. And I forget her name, but it's the mom from How I Met Your Mother. She won. She won an award for it. Yeah, she won an award. I'm just thinking of the actress name, but can't think of it. But she won the award. She won an award for it.
Milioti.
He should have won an award. I thought he was so good. Colin Farrell, is that who it is?
Yeah, that is who it is.
God,
did he not win any awards? Because
I don't know. He should have just won every award. Best actor of ever. Is that fucking good? I think it's that good, man.
Especially like compared to like him just normally. Like he
doesn't look anything like that. Doesn't have anything like that. He doesn't have that accent. He nails the accent. Oh shit!
Yeah, it was very ballsy of them to take a character like the Penguin from the Batman and be like, let's make a deeper, darker dive series into this, where you kind of learn about this character and watch him become just like king of the underworld by the end of the series through just the most nefarious of means. Yeah. And you still love him.
Okay,
dude,
so
you gotta watch that last episode. It's so fucking good.
I will. I love it. I'm glad you watched it though. Did we talked about it though, right? Yeah, you said we talked about it.
You had brought it up,
Christmas.
But I said I hadn't watched any of it, and I was
had I watched it yet then?
You had made it sound like you had watched all of it.
No, I probably was on episode 7 then.
Probably. Fuck.
I was watching one a night. I loved it, man. It was good. It's really good. I'll finish it.
You should.
Oz. I just can't. I could talk forever. That I just can't. I just think it's so ballsy.
Please do.
Like, of all characters to pick too. And when I first heard about it, I'm like, how? I mean, the Penguin isn't that interesting. Like, he doesn't have any like defining qualities to make me like. He's not like the Riddler, or like the Joker that they had. Like, but that's what makes it so good. I think is that it's like an open.
He is so fun to watch.
Yeah, that like it's kind of Fuck,
the whole series, it's just him. Because remember, his whole life he's had this wobble. Like he's walked like a penguin. He's learned how to bob and kind of weave around. He bobs around. he's just in precarious situations from the very beginning till the end where things are not going the way he thinks they should go or how he planned, and he just has to bob and
Makes it
weave.
fucking
He
work.
waddles his way through, and watching him find his way through, and sometimes just by being the absolute worst in situations, is
Man, is
so
it
fun
good.
to watch. It's so fun to watch.
It's
It's a
good.
very like watching Breaking Bad and seeing Walt become just like you love him, but he is the worst by the end.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy. And
Yeah.
that's kind of how this series goes with the
Yeah.
Penguin. Meanwhile, you're getting character development and like the mystery of Sophia Falcone going on with like, oh my god, the whole episode where they went to Arkham and showed her backstory.
It's one of the
That
highest
was
rated episodes
awesome.
on Rotten Tomatoes of
That was a
any
really
show
good
ever.
episode. That's
It's
where
one of the highest rated episodes ever of anything.
That's where I left off yesterday. I watched the first 4 episodes,
Oh,
and
nice.
that's where I ended and I was just like, wow, that 4th episode was
That
fucking because
episode,
like
and I think good.
it's got a lot of meat on the bones. That
It's
episode,
good.
yeah,
It's good. Yeah, and I love I can't think of the kid's name.
Victor.
Yeah. God, good character too. Good character too.
Yep. Yeah.
I know.
Interesting
It's really
character.
Good. I like it, man. I'm a big fan. I'm glad you watched it. I'll finish it.
You have to. You
I
absolutely
know, man.
have
I
to.
get in these sprees. I'm self-detrimental.
Because the last episode leaves with so much to talk about. I mean, you're left with a lot to talk about.
Either way, but yeah.
Either way, but the ending really.
So they are making a second season, yeah?
I don't know. I don't know if I heard that.
I believe
don't know
that
why
is
they
the case.
would. I think it's a very perfect one because, like, man.
Well,
they
the problem
dealt
is,
with
I know why they.
the Falcones
I know why they
and
would.
the Marconis.
I know why they would.
Oh, I mean, ratings,
because
money.
It's gonna make money.
Yeah, probably. But
yeah,
man,
so the director confirms another season.
Holy boys! I see. It's such a perfect. Sometimes they gotta just.
This is the problem with limited series, though, is because they're so good, and but of course, just like anything else, you want more. You know,
I do want more, but
at the same time,
it's such a sweet little like.
It usually doesn't
piece
work
of media, like boom.
Like I'm worried.
Story.
I'm worried they might try to make a second season of Shogun.
I know, me too. Me fucking too.
They should not.
I think they are making that. They absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised, especially FX, because they don't. You know,
they don't even have the movies
they need
anymore.
money. They need money.
Yeah.
So, so hopefully they don't make it, but I think they are going to make it.
I think they are.
But even
too.
the books fall off really hard after the first one in the series, so they just shouldn't, you know. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I have 2 more books to talk about. I can only talk about one if you want me to. It's up to you. We've been going for a long time.
I'm out of stuff, so if you want to talk about both, I want you to shit on one of these things, my friend. You have been promising me shit on it.
I'm going to tell you how it hurt my feelings and ruined my fucking life. Let's talk about a positive, quick one first. Let's talk about a positive, quick one first.
I like a positive, quick.
New Fourth Wing.
Oh yeah.
Are you ever going to read that second book?
I haven't read it.
When are you going to do that?
So I'm reading 7 and 8 of Wheel of Time.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I think I'm going to hit it next round, next break.
Listen, here's the thing. I understand why some people don't like this series. I don't think it's for everybody, right? Like if you're a hardcore fantasy science fiction person. But dude, it's fun. Like, it's fun. Just fucking have fun. You don't have to be, you don't always have to be like the fucking staunch critic of it all. Just read something and have a goddamn good time. Because guess what? I read it. I had a great time. It was a good time. It was a fun read.
The
and
newest
I'm disappointed.
One.
Yes, the newest one. Yeah. Yeah. And I think the newest one.
Are people not liking it?
No. Well, okay. So I follow a lot of booktubers, you know, like book YouTubers. And everybody I follow is like, you know, male fantasy guys, because we like the same stuff, except for this series. They all hate it. And I understand. I understand why. But I think it's just fun. It's fun. I think this one might be a little bit better than the second book for me personally. It's fun, man. I recommend it.
I really enjoyed the first book. I had a great time with it. The first book
is still the best.
I think the way that bitch writes battle scenes is pretty fucking intense.
Pretty excellent, right?
She's pretty good at it.
She's pretty good at it, man. And So the only thing is, so she wrote, and what's very impressive, and man, has she made a lot of fucking money in a hurry, because she released book 1 in May of 2023,
Yeah.
right?
And the next one
And
came
then
out in November.
November 2023, and then this one
Yeah.
comes out in January 2025. So
Got
that's
ourselves
like,
a fucking Robert Jordan over here.
so she has said that she did an interview right before this last one came out and said that she needs some time, that it's not going to be that pace anymore, which I think is
That's
fair.
understandable.
It's a crazy pace.
There's only 2 books to go. Take a little time.
Is it 5 that she's doing officially?
I think that's what they said, yeah. So
yeah.
if they
Take
stick
some
to
time.
that.
And I think that it could be better too if she takes some time to write. You know what I mean? Like in general, usually having a little bit of time helps you.
Get your story straight.
I mean, that's a crazy pace, man, for 3 #1 New York Times bestsellers in
the
like
fact
16
that 1
months.
and 2 came out as soon together as they did.
Yeah.
She must have had most of 2 done when she released 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I would guess so as well. But still, the turnaround time for 3 is really quick. And I liked it. It was fun. I'd recommend it to people.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's talk about something that hurt me so bad.
Ending on a sad note.
Last time we were here, I told you about this series, the Stormlight Archive.
Ooh,
okay, you see those big chunky books?
Yeah.
Okay, listen to me.
I'm listening, man. I'm listening.
On December 1st, 2024, you just said, Jake, give me your top series of all time. Number 2 was the Stormlight Archive. That was my number 2 ever of all time. And I would have said, listen, when this 5th book comes out to finish the first arc, it has a chance. It could jump it. It could jump Wheel of Time. That 5th book is the biggest steaming pile of dog shit that I have ever read in my life. I can't believe that it was allowed to be published. I can't believe that he wrote it. He is dead to me for a period of time. He is dead to me for a period of time. Dead. He has lost my respect. He has to earn it back. It is that bad. I don't say that lightly. This is the man who wrote 3 of the Wheel of Time books that I love. The first 3 books, those 3 books are 3 of the greatest books ever written. The first 2 specifically are 2 of my 5 favorite books ever. And I say that they're so good that this 5th book couldn't even ruin them. But it is that bad that he has lost my trust. He's lost my trust. He has to earn it back. That bad.
You know, when I texted you about this, you did not make it seem like you hated it this much.
Chase, it was that bad. Wow. Over time, it's gotten worse. It's gotten worse. Sorry. I unfollowed him on all social media. I'm fucking mad.
What?
I'm fucking angry, dude. It's
without spoiling
bad.
it. Can you tell me like why? Like what?
Dude,
what about it is so bad?
Dude, it's hard. It's hard not to spoil it.
Yeah, especially when I don't know dick about the
series.
I'll work
I've never read it. Here's the thing that you have to understand. Those books, every book in the series is over 1,000 pages. Okay?
Right. We have 2
and they get progressively longer. Okay?
Yeah, we have the first and the 5th one.
What's that?
We have the first and the 5th one on the van.
Listen what I'm telling you. The first 2 books are I reread them. I reread them, okay, in anticipation of this. And the second time I read them was better than the first time. I read the 1,000-page book. I read it in 2 days because it was that good on reread, dude. It's that good. But the 5th book, dude, I couldn't finish it. It took me a month to read it because I just hated it that much.
See, I thought you were like trying to let it.
I'm gonna read it in 3 days. This weekend.
Well, then you said you were taking your time,
dude, because it sucked ass. It was fucking bad.
The last
I've never
seen anything like it. You thought the 5th chapter made you cry. You thought it was so good.
It did. It fucking did. The first 100 pages were good. Okay? And this fucking pissed me off because let me tell you something. The next 1,200 were excruciating pain. The last 100, listen, people might think I'm being dramatic. This is all I care about in this world. These books are so important to me. The ending could be worse. The ending could be worse. But that's not what a book is, dude. The book isn't the beginning and the ending. The book's the journey. You're supposed to have the journey, dude. And it's so horrifically bad. He loses. Let me say it like this: his best thing in these books are his characters, Wheel of Time-esque, and he just loses them all in the 5th book. Not he kills them, like not their like. I mean, it's just like he gives up on them. It is, and and like, dude, you think he's the best battle scene writer of all time? Period. It's no debate. He's the best battle scene writer of all time. Wait until book 14 of the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, I've not read enough of his stuff.
Just trust me. And in these 3, he writes some of the greatest shit. The battle scene, you're just, dude, in this one, he starts trying to tell jokes in the fucking book. It's the end of the goddamn world, and we're telling jokes. And, like, they're like Marvel jokes, which some people find funny. I find it fucking ridiculous that, like, in the middle of a battle scene,
especially when they haven't been doing it the whole series.
That's why it's so bad, because for all these characters, like, change. And the jokes are, like, modern jokes. They're not, like, for the time. Dude, it is, honest to God, like, if they came out right now and they said, hey, Brandon died, and actually this is a fan fiction, that would make more sense to me. It read exactly like a fan fiction. It is the worst thing I've ever read in my life. I think it is the biggest steaming. I give it like a 0.5 star. And like, there's nobody on earth that could convince me otherwise. I think it is that bad. He loses the characters. I've never read anything like it. Dude, immense battle scenes that you've waited 6,000 pages for, and then like, you're like, oh, maybe I can finally get into this book. And then like, we're making little quippy jokes like, dude, I just, and you know what's crazy? I'm ranting, but you know what's crazy?
Please.
Those first 3 books are so good. I still wouldn't put somebody off from reading them because they are that good. Like,
they're on my list.
They're that good, but that last book, man,
I hate a bad ending.
I know, dude, but they're so. But you know what though? Let me say this. In the positive of it. The only positive, the 0.5 star it gets. The ending itself is not horrible. Like, where it sets up is not like bad. Okay, like where it leaves off is not bad. Okay, it really isn't. But it can't.
Does the weather get better?
What?
I said, does the weather get any better?
Is the weather bad?
On Stormlight Archives. I don't know. Every book cover is somebody fucking doing something with the weather.
The weather's crazy. Yeah, they're called high storms. They're called high storms.
That's all I know about it is on the covers there's fucking shit going on in the distance.
I think the ending is fine. It's just it's 1,330 pages. And it just felt like that you could have cut out 1,000 of them. It's like that bad to me. I don't know, man. I don't know what to make of it.
I'm so sorry, dude. That's awful.
Well, no, it's hard because I still so my friend Andrew has bought the books, and I'm like, I don't want to tell him because now what if he doesn't want to read them and he has them already? But dude, those first 3 books will blow your fucking mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you make of that? Like, what do you think
a bad ending?
I don't know. But like, if you watch a show and the
bad
first
ending hurts me, man. Look at me.
I know.
I've got a slap bet going with Braden on whether or not I think the fucking next Game of Thrones book is coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I think it will, by the way.
I think it will too. I hope it will, or else I'm gonna get slapped. But like, when a show ends badly, my only hope is that the book is better. So when the book sucks, it's like, well, it can't get any better.
But what sucks so bad about it too, though, it's so much worse than Game of Thrones for me because George R.R. Martin is already dead as a creator of anything. Like, he's never going to make anything other than Game of Thrones, you know? But Brandon Sanderson is still writing other series that I'm like excited for to come out, or I was excited, you know? And I own these expensive leather bounds. I own these expensive leather bounds of these books. I don't know.
You're gonna have to buy that leather bound.
No, I've already decided. I've made the commitment. I will be buying the first 3, and that's it. I'm that mad. It is that bad, Chase. It's that bad. And I'm happy because people online, a lot of people have agreed with me.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Or even, like, here's something I can't tell you. So, like, it was set up that it's 2 arcs. So it's supposed to be books 1 through 5 is arc 1. and then books 6 through 10 is arc 2. And there's supposed to be like a time jump. He never
2
said
arcs
how
make
long.
an archive.
So it was supposed to be, he didn't tell you how long between the 2 arcs or whatever. But he said repeatedly, over and over again, that the end of book 5 would feel like an end to the whole story because he claims he's taking a decade off of the series. So he wrote book 5. He's taking a decade off before he writes book 6.
Jesus.
Dude, it's not an end. Are you fucking crazy? It wasn't an end. It's bullshit.
You shouldn't take a decade off. Fuck. You just imagine being like, I bet I'll live another 10 years.
Yeah, well, and if you look at him, you're like, buddy, you better get on the Zempic. You better get on the Zempic. We need you,
You better pretend like you have diabetes.
He probably does. This is to say, I still recommend the first 3 books. And then the 4th one is a drop-off. But that 5th one
Sounds like it never picks back up.
Dog shit. A steaming pile of garbage.
Ooh.
Instead of reading the 5th one, just let me tell you what happens. Read the first 3, and I'll just tell you about the last ones. Okay. Sorry, I know that's not a very interactive discussion, but yeah.
No, I love this. This is what I'm sorry. I feel so bad because like so you said it was at number 2 and it could have jumped Wheel of Time.
It could have. It had potential.
Would you say it fell back now? It like tripped and fell behind. It's not even 2 anymore.
2.
2.
I don't know where it is. I haven't done an official list in my head in a while, but
it's
hurt,
not
man.
2 even.
It was that bad. Well, because let's be honest, you have to stick an ending, right? For a series of anything, show, movie, anything, the ending has to be good, in its totality. That's why Wheel of Time's number 1. I think the ending's great.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I think the ending's great, but I don't know what is above it. Oh, this book series, Red Rising. I need you to read that one. That's a good one.
Red Rising.
Yeah, I love that one. We'll get there. Empire of the Vampire 3 comes out this fall. Correct. We're getting the title on Thursday.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Keep me posted on that. I am curious what it's going to be titled.
Yeah,
would you be mad at me if I told you I still didn't finish the second book?
I know you didn't. It's okay. You're reading my favorite series ever, and it's the biggest series ever. I can't be mad at you for a very long time.
And I'm on fire with my reading lately, so
you're kicking ass.
I'll get it done. I'll get it done.
Yeah, it's not a problem. And you like the Wheel of Time, which makes me happy. So
not only do I like the Wheel of Time, I love it. I mean, I talk about it all the time. It's been
wait till we buy those leather bounds.
Oh, dude, I cannot wait to own those. It makes me sad because like I don't own the books. Like I just have been getting them from the library. So like I'll have to wait 14 years to own them all. And like a part of me just kind of wants to buy the versions there are now and then also buy those other ones. But I'm like, no, just buy the fucking cool ones and leave it at that.
Except then you're going to be me. And in 15 years, half of my living room is going to be Wheel of Time books.
I hope there's more Wheel of Time stuff too. Like, man, here's my thing. Back to Wheel of Time. But where the show, I don't watch the show and I see little things about the show and what I've seen in the show, I don't care for.
Wouldn't recommend you.
But I did talk about the graphic novel of it.
I saw you talk about it. I didn't listen to the episode though.
I won't go back into that. But I personally think the show the series would work best in like a. Have you watched the Castlevania series on Netflix?
Yep.
And animated like that. With that kind of animation style, an animated series is the only way that I think you can respectably do.
I just think
adaptation.
There are so many shows or books that, I mean, it's why Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings are 2 of the biggest successes ever. Is because and Harry Potter, if you're being honest and you go look at adaptations of fantasy and science fiction books throughout history into television or movies, it doesn't work very well, and it hasn't worked very well ever. That's why Dune was such a surprise
for the ones that do,
that I just named. But the problem is, in the meantime, your favorite things just get raped, but anime is the way to that it will work. So it's an interesting conversation. So Pierce Brown, the writer of Red Rising, he loves anime. And everybody keeps telling him that his series needs to be animated. And it's interesting because he says that he agrees that it might be the best art form for it, but if your goal as an author or a creator is to get the most eyes on whatever it is that you've made, like, he's like, let's be honest, that Game of Thrones would have been as big as it was if it was animated, and the answer is no. Now his show currently has a first season. They have to finish one more thing. Apparently, we're gonna know in the next few months, but it's a $200 million budget for the first season, so pretty good.
I
We'll
guess
see.
if it's money, doesn't mean it's gonna be good.
I mean, it's a good start because it's a space opera, right? Like
Mhm.
it's a very expansive. It's a lot in outer space, so you need money to do it. I
Mhm.
think is what I'm
Mhm.
saying. It's a good start. Like if you would tell me you don't have that much money, it's not a good start. I agree though. Well, we've seen with Rings of Power that money isn't everything in making these shows, but
No,
Mm.
yeah, no. I'm so glad I got into Wheel of Time because Rings of Power really fucking let me down.
I didn't watch the second season.
Don't.
Yeah, I don't know that I will.
Just don't.
Yeah, I didn't plan on it, but yeah.
To anybody that I spoke to about enjoying Rings of Power, I lost it all by the end. So don't worry.
Did you?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh
Like
no.
by the end, I was like, even throughout season 2, I was there were things I liked, but like by the end, I was like, this sucks. They lost me. They lost me.
Interesting.
But right then, Wheel of Time came into my life, and you know what? I haven't looked back.
I love that for you. I still haven't read the prequel book in the Wheel of Time.
You've told me that before.
I know. I can't
Yeah.
wait till I do it.
I don't know when I'm gonna hit that.
It's like a nugget that I'm saving until I'm like 50 or something. I don't know, because I'm never gonna get a new,
When you get the leather-bound version, when they release that of it, you should read it.
That's
then.
when I'll do it. Yeah.
There you go. Make it extra special when you buy that one.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, I don't even know this book in my favorite series of all time.
Yeah.
And hopefully by then the show might just get canceled or something. Who knows?
I think people kind of enjoy it. Like if you didn't read the books, people enjoy
season
it.
3 trailer got a lot of views. I keep seeing things about it. I'm like, yeah, if you don't know the book, maybe it is still a good show to people
Did I
that
tell
don't
you
know the
exactly
story.
what happened that turned me off on it?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
And it was the parent thing.
Yeah, I think that's crazy.
It is.
The way it was, because
the whole beginning is crazy.
Why? Yeah.
Don't know.
Anyway, sorry.
Don't know.
I won't rehash Wheel of Time stuff. But...
And here's the thing, though, too, dude. Like, I watched the trailer for season 3. I've read the books that season 3 is about, and I'm still just like,
what is happening?
What the fuck is going on here? I mean, maybe in the context of the show, I'd understand a little better, but it's like they're mixing and matching story beats. I thought I could at least find scenes from it that I would like. Oh, I like this part in the book. I'd like to see what that looks like. I watched the scene of when they blew the Horn of Valir, in the second book, because I thought I gotta see that. I gotta see that. It was so fucking dog shitly poorly done in that show. I was like, nah, man. No.
Yeah,
but what I liked about the graphic novel is everything I pictured in my head when I was reading those pages over in the graphic novel.
They were good,
yes,
huh?
This is how I pictured it.
I didn't even know these existed, brother.
Yes, they've only gone up to the beginning of the second.
Holy
book.
shit! So the first book has 6 volumes.
Yeah.
Damn. I can't afford these. My lawyer budget isn't that high.
I bought them digitally on my iPad and read a couple of them when I talked about them. But that is such a good. Because it's telling the story. Any changes they make, very little. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very just for an aesthetic in a comic book, if anything. They take direct dialogue and writing from the books and just put it in the comic.
Cool. Very cool.
And it's a cool visual, especially with a series that has an ungodly amount of named characters. So seeing them really helps you remember them when they're brought up later.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. My last we don't have to suck him off anymore in his grave.
No,
but
I know it's crazy.
I just don't know. I don't understand. And I worry that it's I worry that it's where I was at the time in my life when I read it, or if he really was just that good. That I read these books now, and there's they do these names of cities and people, and I just don't care, and I just dump, and I don't care. And just with him, it just was like I just loved it all. I just loved it. I don't know. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but I loved it.
Yeah. Everything seems just a little lesser. Like even when I started Aragon and they were talking about towns and people and different pieces of the continent they live on, I was just like, yeah, I mean, this tells me something, but does it tell me everything? Does it give me every minute detail about
Can you
all this
believe people
shit?
don't like this book series too?
I
It's my
well,
big
here's the thing.
fear.
I do say that I can see why some people don't like it for how it's written as opposed to the story. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think his style of writing is for everybody.
Yeah, I won't let Tori won't even try it, and I'm like, that's probably for the best. I don't
But
think
the
that she would.
story itself, I think anybody
It's
could
nothing
buy
better.
into the story, which
It's
is
the best
another
story.
reason why I think the show should be a lot better than it is. Because
Yeah.
he's giving you literally every possible detail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys don't have to interpret anything. Like that's where
Nothing.
Lord of the Rings, they
Nothing.
do a lot of interpretation in the movies. You know,
Mhm.
they do, and they do it incredibly. It's why it's the best. But yeah, you shouldn't have been able to fuck it up, and they sure did. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay. I just won't ever watch it.
Me neither.
Isn't that a shame though? That like
I'm too
I
busy
think
reading all these fucking books,
I
let
know, but
alone
just like think
have
about
time
for
to watch
me, it's
them.
my favorite stuff. I finished the books, and I won't even like. I told you I watched the first 10 seconds.
Maybe check out those graphic novels. My plan is like I may never read these books again. I probably will, but I may never like. But it's nice to have those graphic novels to like, hey, I do want to look at that story though. Like
Yeah.
I do love the tale of the dragon reborn and the final battle. Let's see where we're going.
Dude, I would love to. Yeah, I'm gonna reread them in the not so distant future. I just fucking love them. I can't help it.
You must.
I know it's unfortunate. It really
when
is.
I wrap the series, we got to do a whole just.
I know.
breakdown.
When you wrap this, I'm gonna have to watch. You
got some time.
This. I just have to. I'm gonna have to watch YouTube videos like on the books again to remember them, because you text me stuff sometimes, and I'm like, I don't remember
Nothing.
that you know what I mean? Because it always just like
books when you binge them.
Yeah, it's a jumble. Like I told you, I read 1 through 3. I read 2 books, and then 4 through 14. So
yeah.
Anyway, but man, what I do remember very well is those last 3 books, feeling like I was in ecstasy for fucking 3,000 pages. I was so happy. Anyway, yeah.
I'm looking forward for that, man. I'm
don't
really
want to keep talking about Wheel of Time.
No, me neither. We've already gone past your final point. You shit on the book that you didn't like. It let you down.
Hurt
and
my
I
feelings.
am so sorry that's how that went.
Brando
so much
Sanders
so
dead to me.
that you're right. Even that, like, oh
Yep.
man, a book's really got to be a stinker to take you out of a man whose every book up until this point you've at least enjoyed.
Yep.
Damn. Well, that's what we're here for. We're nerd shit in the dark. We should talk sometimes.
I'll
we
let
like
you
to
know.
talk positive, but sometimes we got to take something down a notch, and that's too bad.
You have to be honest. That's what it is, right?
With yourself, man. What else? If we're not honest with ourselves, what else do we got? How
Yeah,
can we
it
be
lets
honest?
people know. It's
like
a
the
giant
Penguin.
series.
I don't even know if he's honest with himself. He's definitely not honest with himself.
Definitely not.
But that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah.
Wow. Awesome, man. Do you have anything else, or is that?
No, I'm sorry for taking up so much time. I've ranted a lot.
No, you're good. This is a perfect length episode. This is I love just sometimes these conversations can be like old cartoons where they'd fall down a hill and they'd slowly start getting like all the fucking shit, and it's just like a big ball of mess. Just without like, it's not a mess though. It's like a nice conversation, but we just like, we just roll into things.
To the next thing, yeah. Do you think we kept things? I tried to be more linear. Not tried to be. It just felt more linear this time.
I think
it didn't try to be, but it felt more like. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
You think so?
No, I think so. I think we rambled at times, but for the most part, we stuck to it. Yeah. No.
Nice.
I like this. I enjoyed this. I'm gonna have a good time listening back to it as I
know you're just gonna listen back to me bitching. All I did was bitch.
No, no, no. You gotta let that shit out from time to
Oh, thank
time, though,
God. You
man.
know what? I feel so much better about Attack on Titan, though, so I thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, the video version of this podcast is totally worth finding on YouTube because Jake unleashes when he talked about that last book. Wind and Truth, I believe
Wind
it's
and
called.
Truth, Brandon Sanderson, go fuck yourself. That was bullshit, and he knows it. And he knows it, too. There's no way he doesn't look back and think that was horse shit. And I will say, little nugget for anybody, I'm sure nobody here has read that book, but little nugget, he got a new line editor. New line editor. Hard to say how much of a change that made and everything, but it is a new line editor for the last 2 books. Just put that out there.
That guy liked Marvel jokes.
Yeah, fucking loser. Yeah, so check it out on YouTube, though. You can see me be an explosive dickhead about a book. That's what I care about in life.
As you should, dude. If it sucks. Dude, if I would
Let
have
'em
watched
know.
Penguin and it sucked, I would have been on here ripping it a new one the whole time.
Dude, imagine if The Penguin was a 1,300-page book. Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yep.
To read that much and it never get any better and only get worse.
Um,
Youch.
Dude, you're the
man.
best. You're the best. Thank you for letting me come on and bullshit.
No, you can come on and
I'm
bullshit
very
on the
excited to
show
see.
anytime.
I'm very excited to see the. My favorite thing about coming on here is the cover afterwards.
Yeah,
the cover is the best part for me.
I got a lot of work to do tomorrow. I gotta edit this. Yeah. I gotta put it together, and I gotta fucking re-listen to what we just talked about, so I can figure out what to put in the poster.
Dude, I don't fully appreciate it because I don't do it, but we have had this talk before that I do appreciate it because I'm like, man, that's a lot of work that you're doing. It really is.
It's fun though.
That's good.
Not always fun, but it overall, you
wouldn't be able to keep doing it if you didn't think it was fun, right?
Right. Not to this extent. Not to this extent.
Yeah. So, cool, man.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I'll send you whatever I concoct, and
I love it.
We'll get this shit up. But yeah,
thanks
for coming on the show, man.
Sorry. Yeah, I love it, man. It's the best. This is fun.
Yeah, I think
I actually had a lot of stuff this time too, which is nice.
Which is great because going into this one, I didn't really because I've just read the Eragon books. I've just been reading Wheel of Time. Like other than Wheel of Time and Eragon, in the past like 6 weeks, I have done nothing else really. So like I pounded that fucking Penguin show out. The Kagurabachi thing, I just was like, the shit. You know what? The shitters don't need to rehash this one out with us. So I'm gonna let them go. Shitters, thank you for listening in and joining us. I really appreciate anybody who takes the time out of their life to listen to this show. We are Nerd Shit in the Dark. You can find us pretty much anywhere on wherever podcasts are, and follow us on Instagram. Jake, you got anything you want to say before we head out?
Follow them on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. Put it on your list on Spotify. If you have Apple Music, I don't know what you do, but do it there too. Just listen. I've been a bad friend, haven't listened to 2 episodes, and I feel bad, and you should too. So listen, because the guy gives great advice. The guests are funny. Enjoy yourself. And it's relaxing. There's a lot going on in the world. So listen to good entertainment every now and then. I highly recommend.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's a good outro. All right, guys. We'll see you in 2 weeks for the next one.
Peace,
Till
friends.
then, good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the shit bugs bite. Anyway, I was forgetting something. And Braden loves you.